All right, now it's time to export our file. And it's really important that you do this in the right way, or we at the library won't get the correct file that needs to be printed. So it needs to be a 3MF file. If you remember, the file type that we brought in was an STL file. File type that you will submit will be a 3MF file because the 3MF file can contain sliced information, but not all 3MF files will. So you can't see this in the screencast, but there's a little file button at the top in the toolbar, and you'll be able to see it on your own computer. But when you click file, now you should be able to see this menu here. You'll have like a save project. Saving the project does not create the 3MF file that you need to export. So don't just click save. On the PC version of Bamboo Studio, there's also a floppy disk icon. You don't want to click that. What you do want to do is make sure that you do it from the green button. So instead of going to the left-hand side, you're going to go to the right-hand top side. Find where it says print plate. You're not going to print it. You're going to click the drop down next to it, and then you're going to choose export plate sliced file. That's very important. Export plate sliced file. Click on that. It doesn't do anything right away. It turns this button into an export plate sliced file button. So I'm going to click that, and now I can save this. It's really important when you're doing this that you make sure it says G-code here when it first comes up. Now you can name it whatever you want after that, but if it doesn't say G-code when it first pops up, then you have the wrong file. All right, I'm going to click this arrow here because on a Mac, that's what you have to do to see all of the options. And I'm going to save this to my desktop. I'm choosing my desktop, and I'm going to call this Ben Minerva. All right, and I'm going to click save. Now, if I clear out my programs to look at my desktop, I will see this file here. It says Ben Minerva.3mf. That's what it needs to be, 3MF. Now you can do a save and save a 3MF file that's not sliced. So make sure that you do the export plate sliced file. That is really important. Another thing to check before you submit to us is that you've done the right printer. Now, if you accidentally loaded the profiles for all of those printers that were on by default when we installed Bamboo Studio, up here where it says printer, it might say something other than Bamboo Lab X1 Carbon 0.4 nozzle. That's what it has to say for our printer. It shouldn't say Bamboo Lab P1 or Bamboo Lab A1 or anything else. Just Bamboo Lab X1 Carbon 0.4 nozzle. Make sure that's what it says. That's what we exported. And so now we can go ahead and we can submit it through the form on the website.